back a few episodes, it's not about being easy, but it is about putting yourself out there and realizing that you can bounce back from just about anything. All right, I've got some really simple advice for the young guys out there. Those of you guys who aren't yet married, who don't yet have children, but are also afraid of taking risks, afraid of failure, just raise your hand. It's okay. That's very common. We grow up in a society now where it's so unsafe to take risks and to fail because of what that will mean. What is it going to look like? What happens if I'm exposed as an incompetent person on this planet? Failure is something that we all have become averse to. So this is what I tell every single young person who I come into contact with now, especially the young guys out there who are gun shy. You got your finger on the trigger, but you don't want to pull it because you don't know what's going to happen on the other side. There's only 3 things that could happen that you need to really look out for. Number 1, getting someone pregnant and having a child before you're ready. Now, I have a younger brother who had my beautiful, amazing niece when he was 17 years old. Changed his life completely. Now, he has a great life, and I know he's very happy and content with how things played out. But it definitely shifted the course of where he thought his life was going. So a lot of people who have children before they're ready, before they want to, before they intended to, that can be a really significant life change, like change in trajectory. It's not going to devastate or destroy your life by any means. Doesn't have to, but that's number 1. Number 2, getting arrested. Right? Especially if you commit a felony, something that's going to go on your record, something's going to stick with you forever. Going to jail, doing some significant time, again, not going to ruin your life. I know friends of mine who've been to jail and who've come out and have really benefited from that experience. I also know plenty of people go to prison and it really can influence their lives in a negative way. Regardless, if you can avoid doing anything highly illegal or anything that you are going to have to surrender to the repercussions and consequences of, like going to jail or getting something on your criminal record, then you're going to be doing pretty good. So as long as you don't get someone pregnant before you're ready to, as long as you don't go to jail or commit a felony or some other significant crime and get caught for it, then the last thing that you can do, and you got to make sure that you don't let happen, is die, right? The last thing that you could do to kind of screw things up and change your whole life trajectory is to die, which I don't need to explain. That's pretty obvious. So it really comes down to these 3 things. If you're a young guy out there and you're feeling like, man, I don't know if I should, take this big leap and try out a different career, or I want to invest this money in cryptocurrency or real estate, or I want to go travel the world. I want to quit my job. I want to ask that girl out. Whatever the risk is, the only things you need to make sure that you don't do before you're ready. Well, number 1, don't get someone pregnant before you're ready. Number 2, don't go to jail or get imprisoned or incarcerated or get a felony on your record that is going to stick with you for the rest of your life. And don't die. Outside of that, you can bounce back from anything. And I mean this, anything. You can bounce back from just about anything else that can happen in your life. You can bounce back from 2 out of those 3 things too, right? Going to jail or having a kid before you wanted to. Those are not exactly a death sentence, but there's significant setbacks. Everything else that we're afraid of, taking big risks, taking leaps, putting ourselves out on a limb and risking failure, that's all part of the game. It's all part of the game, being able to fail hard and fail consistently and consecutively in order to learn how to be successful, but to do it in safe ways, right? Not rolling the dice and having some of these more significant outcomes happen that are going to influence and impact the rest of your life. So rest assured that no matter where you are in your life, maybe you're debating which school to go to. Do I even go to college, or do I skip college and try to start a business? Should I, take that leap and invest in a program, or should I try to start my own? Should I ask that person for an internship? Go for it, because no matter what the outcome is, you can bounce back. And even if that outcome doesn't go the way that your ego wants it to, I guarantee you it's going to be character shaping. It's going to shape and help you grow into the person that you're meant to be. But the only way that we can acquire and accumulate these life transforming experiences is by putting ourselves out there, thrusting ourselves into those situations and scenarios. And I know from firsthand experience, I was very risk averse coming out of high school and going into college, coming out of college and going out on my own. I didn't want to take those risks. I was very resistant to rolling the dice and taking those gambles because I was so worried about what would happen, what could happen if I didn't succeed, if it didn't have the outcome that I wanted it to. So there's really only 3 things you need to look out for, right? Don't have a kid before you're ready. Don't get imprisoned or go to jail or commit a felony that's going to stick with you forever. And don't die, right? Don't risk your life. Don't squander your life away. Don't escape into some really unhealthy habits that are going to shorten your lifespan, because those are really the only things that you could do that would significantly impact the trajectory of your life. Everything else you can bounce back from. You can go off on a trip, travel the world, spend all of your money, and make it all back again, right? You can go and you can study and get a whole degree and decide that that's not what you want to use. That's what I did. I did that for 10 years. And I found a way to create a life for myself, doing work that I really feel resonant with. It feels really good to me, and providing for my family. It's not easy. Definitely not the easy route. That's a different podcast, right? Go back a few episodes. It's not about being easy, but it is about putting yourself out there and realizing that you can bounce back from just about anything. In fact, now that I think about it, there's really only one thing. Just make sure you don't die. You can still bounce back from just about any other circumstance in life, but death or significant bodily injury that sticks with you chronically and for the rest of your life, those are some big things that you can't come back from. You can't change that. You can persevere through chronic injuries. People do it all the time. But there's really only a few things that are going to impact you on the scale that you imagine that they will. Those failures that seem so big are not even close to what it would feel like to injure yourself chronically, right? Or to do something that's going to change the trajectory of the rest of your life. So rest assured, take some more risks. Don't gamble your life away, but take some more risks. Put yourself out there and remember that no matter what the outcome is, you can always bounce back. I know some of you guys need to hear this right now. So if you're listening to this and you needed to hear it, awesome. If you're listening to this and you're like, I know the perfect person that needs to hear this, or my whole group of friends needs to hear this, please share it up with them. Because I wish somebody would have told me this when I was in my mid-20s. I didn't understand that. So I hope that you guys can hear this right now. And even if it's not in your mid-20s, maybe you're 30, maybe you're 35, maybe you're in your 50s, and you just need to hear that, hey, it's okay to take some risks right now. Go for it. Finding your way back from wherever you may fall might be the best thing that ever happened to you. So enjoy this episode. I hope you liked it. Make sure you tune in next week for another Monday morning meditation.